Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you can look me up at my website, which is www.garethcahoon.co.uk, or if you'd like to support the ministry you can do so through PayPal, garethcahoon3@gmail.com. This one is about France demands resignation of UN official Francesca Albanese over anti-Semitism allegations. French Foreign Minister Jean Noel Barrot said during a parliamentary meeting this week that Paris will demand the resignation of UN Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese at the upcoming United Nations Human Rights Council session on February 23rd. Albanese has drawn international criticism for her anti-Israel and anti-Semitic remarks, particularly in the aftermath of the Hamas-led attack on the southern Israeli communities on October 7, 2023. The French government has frequently criticised Israel's military operations against the terrorist militia Hamas in Gaza. However, Barrot argued that Albanese's controversial comments target not the Israeli government, whose policies can be criticised, but Israel as a people and as a nation, which is absolutely unacceptable. He also stressed that Albanese's inflammatory comments add up to a long list of scandalous positions, justifying October 7th, the worst anti-Semitic massacre in our history since the Holocaust, mentioning the Jewish lobby and comparing Israel to the Third Reich. She represents herself as the UN independent expert, yet she is neither an expert nor independent. She is a political activist who stirs up speech and undermines the cause of the Palestinian people that she claims to defend. The French Foreign Ministry stated Albanese has denied that Hamas was driven by Jew hatred, which is perpetrated the largest massacre of Jews since the Holocaust on October 7, 2023. Albanese recently called Israel the common enemy of humanity at an Al Jazeera forum when she appeared alongside a senior Hamas member and the foreign minister of Iran. She also accused Israel of committing genocide in Gaza while not addressing Hamas attacks on Jewish civilians. Albanese added that the international community now has a common enemy and the respect for fundamental freedoms is the last peaceful avenue, the last peaceful foot box that we have to gain our freedom. French lawmaker Caroline Yarden announced on Thursday on X that 50 members of the French Parliament, including herself, has called on Albanese's immediate resignation in a letter addressed to the French Foreign Minister. By recently describing Israel as an enemy of humanity, she has crossed an additional threshold, fitting into rhetoric that constitutes contemporary forms of anti-Semitism. Yarden stated, "The situation cannot continue." The French lawmaker continued, "France must work to ensure that sanctions are imposed and that Francesca Albanese is immediately removed from any United Nations mandate." Sharon Sabin, Parliament Anti-Semitism Movement, or CAM, Director of European Affairs, also demanded Albanese's immediate resignation from her UN post. To declare the world's only Jewish state a common enemy of humanity is not human rights advocacy, Sabin stated in a letter to the Human Rights Council. It is the language of collective demonization, and it echoes some of the darkest chapters in modern history. Sabin warned, likely referring to the demonization of Jews that preceded the Holocaust and other massacres of Jews throughout history. Israel opposition leader Yair Lapid also condemned Albanese on Thursday, describing her as an extremist anti-Semitic envoy working in the service of an organisation that has lost its moral core. Lapid, who is a former Israeli Prime Minister, warned that if the UN does not fire her immediately, it is an explicit endorsement of anti-Semitism and proof that it is time to dismantle its organisation. The World Jewish Congress condemned Albanese in 2024 for falsely comparing Israel with Nazi Germany. The, con- the constant statement made by Albanese comparing Israel to Nazi Germany are not only deeply offensive but a gross distortion of history, the World Jewish Congress stated. In 2025, the US mission to the UN condemned Albanese's anti Semitism and called on the UN to not renew her mandate. Today, the US sent SG at Antonio Guterres a letter opposing Francesca Albanese's renewal as a special UN rapporteur. We condemn her virulent anti Semitism, which demonises Israel and supports Hamas, the US mission stated. However, the UN has so far ignored all the fact based criticism and decided to renew Albanese's mandate, which just proves that the UN is a useless nothing and has useless nothings as members of its board. So, this is just another reason why the United Nations should die a death, because they're all unelected bureaucrats and they sit around doing absolutely nothing but giving the common people headaches. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.